Good morning, and welcome to Wake Up with the Early Nerd Live. I'm your host, Steve, the Early Nerd, and as always, I'm talking quietly because if we wake up Mrs. Early Nerd, we're all in trouble. I hope everybody's got coffee or whatever it is they choose to drink in the morning. Today, we have an interesting topic, I think. I was asked a question yesterday. I was telling a guy about my channel and asked him if he was a nerd. He looked at me and he said, "What is a nerd?" Well, my response was, "A nerd is anyone who is passionate about a hobby." A We have gamer nerds, people who are passionate about gaming. We have movie nerds, people who are passionate about movies. Music nerds, car nerds, just wrestling nerds, even, you know, like Mrs. Early Nerd. Mrs. Early Nerd is the biggest wrestling nerd I've ever seen. Um, so, what do you think a nerd is? You know, um, what defines a nerd? Long gone are the days when nerddom was defined by super intelligence, all into science and electronics, things like that. Those days are over. They're still there, of course, don't get me wrong. And we applaud those nerds because they were the ones that opened the door for the rest of us. I personally am a gamer nerd, a music nerd, and a I'm an art nerd also. I like to do all kinds of interesting art projects. Uh, and we do a lot of different things, you know. But being a nerd to me, like I said, is someone who's passionate about what they do. Um, I'm very passionate about gaming. I love to game. Be it Dungeons and Dragons, video games, tabletops, even board games. I love playing board games. I'm also a big music nerd. I love music. Of course, I'm very into rock. I mean, you can tell just by looking at me, you know. I'm also very into classical music. Uh, I'm very into um, the symphony. I love the symphony. I I used to be a big cartoon nerd, like way back in the day. When I was growing up, we had Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. And then we had a thing which all you kids out there may not know about. We had Saturday morning cartoons. Uh, Saturday morning cartoons was great. We can get up early on a Saturday morning and we'd watch cartoons until noon, and then it was time to go outside and play with your friends. And then we would be outside all day long. Being where I live, we'd be out in the heat all day long, but we drank from a hose. So, now, being a nerd back in the day used to be something that was, well, looked bad on. I mean, we all remember the movies back in the 80s, where the bullies make fun of the nerds. You know, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons in a junior high school science room because we had a club. It was the Martin Junior High Dungeons and Dragons Club. I was the secretary. We played in a science room on the lab tables, and we would meet once a week, I think it was, and play in school, and no one ever said a word. And that was right in the middle of the satanic panic that I talked about a few videos ago. And we were all a bunch of nerds back then. I was an orchestra nerd. I played with another orchestra nerd. Played with an AV nerd, and but we used to have a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Now, um, before I leave you today, think about it. This is something for everyone to ponder. What is a nerd? What is your definition of nerd? Share your definition in the comments. You know, we do have a live chat if anybody actually wants to get on it. It will come up if you're there listening at the time. So, but let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear what you think a nerd is. But in the meantime, I'll keep it video a little bit short today. And remember, Early Nerd loves y'all. Y'all be safe out there, whether you're going to work or going to school. It is a Friday. Yay! It is a Friday. People are excited about for the coming weekend. Renfield comes out today, so if you're inclined, go see it. Um, I've been thinking about going and seeing it this weekend, maybe tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet, though. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, like I said, the Early Nerd loves y'all. Be safe. Be careful out there, whether you're going to work or school. Bye bye now.